Welcome to All Things Retreat podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. We are joining you with really our first episode. We had an intro come out last week, and this is our first intro for All Things Retreat podcast. So if you are just joining us now, we are so excited, and we hope that you are going to find tons of value in what we are offering here, because you really will learn, whether you are a seasoned retreat leader or you're brand new or you're an aspiring retreat leader. You're going to learn so many amazing things. Today, I have a guest with me, Tamara Golden, my good friend. How are you, Tamara?
I'm well. Thanks, Holly. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, you'll be here probably a frequent flyer on this show, because we do a lot of juicy things together. And if people want to learn about retreats, this is going to be the place to come. Every Wednesday, we'll drop a new show. They won't be long. We try to keep them 20, 25 minutes, just so you can come in and learn something and then go out and go on with your day. So today, I really want Tamara to share a little bit about her background. I just want to say she has been, Retreat R&R is sponsoring this podcast, All Things Retreat, hence that's what it's about. And we started this little journey a few years ago, and it's actually a software company that will be a booking, hosting, education site for anything retreat related. And it's in development, and we just want to get out there and show people that this is a great community. Retreats are not going away. Since the pandemic, we all know how that went. The statistics, which we'll be sharing with you in some of these shows. Each week we have a scheduled platform that we'll be talking about. And so you'll learn it. It's going to be structured. I have amazing guests coming up that we've already recorded quite a few, and you're going to be excited and learn. So Tamara's been on that journey with me, but I want you to know who she is and a little bit more about her. And then I've got a few questions for her, and we'll move on to a little conversation.
All right. Well, just briefly. So, hi, everyone. I'm Tamara Golden, and I'm the owner and founder of JourneyWork Retreats. And we actually are a concierge service to other entrepreneurs and professionals and companies that want to host destination retreats overseas. So very specifically, I have niched in the area of usually 6-7 day or longer retreats that are outside of the United States. So I will leave it there, and we work globally. And I've been in business since 2017. So that's what you need to know about me. And today I think we're going to talk about, Holly, picking locations and a little bit about venues, right?
Yeah. So before we start into any questions and talking about it, let's explain the difference between people don't know maybe what a concierge is or does, and the difference between that working with a retreat leader or a retreat leader doing this on their own. Can you go into that definition so we can kind of lay that ground first?
Sure. So to me, there are two types of people. Well, maybe technically three in this space. There are the retreat leaders who want to do absolutely everything themselves, the DIYers, as I call them, do-it-yourselfers, and that's perfectly fine. They're planning it all, they're implementing it, they're hosting it, they're doing absolutely everything. They're marketing it, they're filling it, they're doing everything themselves. So those are the DIYers. There are some people who want to outsource a few pieces of the planning, and that's kind of a hybrid, if you will. And then there are the people who want to have absolutely everything done for them. So they want nothing to do with the logistics and the planning. They really just want to fill the retreat, show up, and teach and enjoy themselves while they are in this absolutely beautiful destination overseas. So that would be a concierge. A concierge is someone who comes in and either helps you with pieces of the planning or does everything for you from soup to nuts. So that's where I would step in and work with other companies and entrepreneurs to help them in that planning process.
Right. And why we were building this community, and since the software is not out of development yet, that's something you're thinking about doing, then you'll be able to reach us. We'll give you all our contact information in the show notes. and we'd love to chat with you and see what that looks like. That's going to be more, I would say a concierge, wouldn't you agree, is more for somebody that is an established business, has a tribe of people, because one thing we do not do is fill your retreat for you. We can do everything, all the logistical things, but you need to have your own people that we can reach out to and that you can get filled.
Yeah.
So that
I'm very clear with my clients that the two things I don't do, I don't fill the retreat for them because they're bringing people from their tribe, or often it's two entrepreneurs. Many times there's a collaboration there where they're filling them from their respective lists, which helps a lot. But I don't help fill the retreat, and I don't teach any of the content because that doesn't make sense. It's usually their material, their show, and so I'm just really creating the shell and working with them very closely on how to create that and how to craft not only the choice of the location, the venue, creating the format, the flow, so that there are some tricks and some tips for leading people to transformation, but they are really teaching the content and filling the retreat.
Absolutely. And I would say as you're working with people, if they want other speakers to come there, that's something I'm always willing to help. I have a big network of speakers that love to go to retreats and speak. And that's something we can help do, but we're not actually providing that content, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So what's the first thing that you focus on when you're planning a retreat for somebody that you're doing concierge service for?
So the very first conversation well, first of all, there's always a get to know you conversation I have with my clients. I want to know what is it that they do in their business? Who are their clients? How do they work? And how does the retreat fit into their business model? Because it's not that you willy-nilly wake up one day or maybe you do get inspiration. You wake up one day and say, I want to do a retreat, but there needs to be a business purpose behind it. It needs to fit into what you're doing with your clients elsewhere. So we have that conversation. I need to understand the lay of the land. But beyond that, well, the first thing we do when we actually start down the road of planning the retreat is we have to decide where are we going and when are we going. All right. And those two things are actually intrinsically linked because there are certain places in the world that lend themselves to being there at a time of year or times of year when the weather is going to be favorable, or there may be certain events that they want to participate in. And there may be times of the year when you don't want to be there, like the dead of winter or the height of summer.
Hurricane season.
Or hurricane season in the Caribbean. So there, all of that needs to that conversation has to kind of unfold organically. And so it's a combination of looking at, well, when during the year would this make sense for you to offer the retreat based on your other offerings within your business, based on this particular cohort of people that you want to bring and where when the topic is going to make sense for them that you want to deep dive on. So when during the year do you want to plan that retreat? Well, then once we have the when, to reverse engineer, we have to talk about the where. So where are some places that they have in mind? Where are some places that are on their bucket list? Because I always encourage my retreat leaders to be thinking about the places that they would love to go to. And what places do they think their clients would like to go to? And they can always go back and we can brainstorm on that. And then one really effective tool is to use a survey then with their clients to say, okay, I'm thinking about destination A, B, or C. And I'm thinking about this week or that week. What do you think? Where, let me know, vote on these 2 weeks, vote on these destinations, because that actually a survey, a lot of people don't think about doing that, but that can be a twofold win-win. So you're getting amazing market research. It's going to help you design a retreat that your people want to go to at a time when they can come and a destination they want to go to, but it also creates buzz. So now you're allowing them to be part of the planning process, and they're on the back end going, oh, wait, retreat? What?
Especially when you're talking about international, because when you start doing the buzz, the Costa Rica, the Bali stuff, they're like excited and they want to plan ahead. So say you give them 3 choices and you tell them to rate them, where they stand, which one they're probably going to want to come to, if not all. And people do. Don't you find that a lot of your clients have repeat customers that come to all their retreats because they dive, right? They like that.
And maybe not like every single one, but there's cohort that they come and they multiple people, and they will come back and they will return on retreats, and they will bring friends to those retreats, or they will bring family members to those retreats. So
I was going to say, let's talk about, No, I just lost my train of thought.
I want to say a word about
Yeah,
timeline
say that, and I'll think of what I was going to say.
because obviously when we're talking about planning out, and it's particularly for an international retreat, but even domestic, I want people to understand that that conversation needs to happen well in advance of the event dates. So this is not something this is something very, very clear that those who are aspiring to do retreats or those who are even thinking about the DIY path, I just want people to be very, very clear that if you try to slap something together and do it in 3 months, it's going to be really, really challenging for you to do that, even domestically. Even domestically. I tell people a really appropriate lead time, an ideal lead time for a domestic retreat is minimum 6 months. And for international, brace yourself at least a year. And I know because right now I am looking at venues that are I'm looking at people who, for some of my clients at venues that were about a year out, and some of them are already booked up. Since the pandemic, it's been a really crazy travel market out there,
Yeah.
and venues are booking like hotcakes, even a year out. So I would venture to say even 14 months, if you can do it 16 months, but have that conversation as soon as the urge comes, or as soon as the thought is there that you want to do something of this nature. It's never too early to start thinking about it and planning for it.
Right. So I would like to know if you could share what your opinion is on why would someone want to hire a concierge? I mean, we know why, but why would you say that?
Well, several reasons. So first of all, these are the entrepreneurs who are at this level usually are have a robust business, and so they already have their time and their plate is full and their time is spoken for. So for them to be taking on all of the research, all of the communications, there's a lot of emailing back and forth, there's working with hotels, there's negotiating contracts, there's managing registration, and all of the emails that after the people register to get them the information they need, and travel insurance, and da 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 da. There's all of these details that need to be handled that they often don't have the time for. And
Yeah.
there's also an aspect of expertise because, I'm used to dealing with hotels. I'm used to dealing with negotiating contracts with them for blocks of rooms. There's a little bit of the you don't know what you don't know aspect. And I've been around the block and have seen enough to be able to speak hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a certain vocabulary and a parlance, and you come in as a travel planner, and I'm a seller of travel. I'm a sort of licensed seller of travel, so I can also negotiate net rates at hotels for
Yeah.
my clients. There's all of these aspects that come in handy, and just to have a brainstorming partner at the end of the day, because people will come to me and they'll say, well, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I will say, great. However, have you thought about A, B, and C, either what we can do to embellish what they're thinking about doing, or reasons why I might steer them in a different direction, because maybe what they're thinking about doing, I'm seeing a pink or a red flag in
Well,
that.
and it's in their blind spot. They
It's
just
in their blind spot.
don't see
Absolutely.
it.
So it's just
Oh,
having a brainstorming partner to make sure
yeah.
that, because ultimately my goal and their goal is to make this the most amazing event possible
Yeah.
for their clients. And I mean amazing in every respect. The venue that we choose, the destination,
Yeah.
and the content that they're delivering, and the meals, just everything about it should be phenomenal. And there should be that
Right.
relaxation, the rejuvenation, and also the transformation piece all incorporated. That's what makes it a retreat.
So I don't want new retreat leaders listening to us to think this is so out of reach. This is something, if you're new and you're listening, this is something to aspire to, because just because you could do it yourself doesn't mean you should do it yourself. And if you could take things off your plate and just do the things that you're great at, I mean, what would it look like to just show up and especially if you pay the extra fee and get boots on the ground, which means you bring us to it. We're running everything on the ground for you. You're getting your sleep at night. You're not having all the problems come to you, and unless it's us coming to you because we need a resolution that only you can solve. It's all done for you. And so if you're new, don't get scared. Don't be like, oh, I'm checking out. This is it. I can't do this. I would love to know, with the costs. Like I think about, you could always find a partner, somebody else that maybe has more tribe of people, but you bring something that's of value to them to the retreat and partner up and do that and share the costs. But I am the multiple streams of income girl. I want people not to run out and start a new business of retreats. I'd like to see people figure out a way in your zone of genius to just add that income stream. And I would love for you to talk about and share, maybe obviously not names of your clients, but maybe share like what's possible for people to walk away. I mean, I can say from speaker author coaches world, if you have a $10,000, $15,000 package of coaching or whatever, let's just say for an example, $10,000 package, and it's really challenging if you're a speaker to sell that from stage. You're putting them in a funnel, you're working them up to that, to all of a sudden make them this big offer. But if you bring them into a retreat that's anywhere from 3 to 7 days, 10 days, whatever that looks like for you, they know, I can trust you at the end, or they don't. And you, same with them. You may not want them as a client, bringing them in and building that relationship with them. But it's a lot easier to pull out your pocketbook for that $10 or $10,000 ticket if they've worked with you already. They see what you're doing. They love what you're teaching them. You've organized it. And that's why spending the money on a concierge service to do those pieces for you, to make those swag bags just stand out and wow them, right? Then you come in, teach them your genius, and boom, they want to work with you for the next 6 months or a year. Anyway, so that's from my angle. I'd love to hear your angle and what you've done for your clients and how they've made money walking away after all the costs.
Absolutely. And Holly, let me back up for just one moment. I do want to answer your question, but for the DIYers, I want to just say, you don't have to jump into having a concierge immediately. I tell people start local and start small. I've coached a lot of people, and I'm always happy to talk with anyone who is interested in retreats. I don't care where they are in their business, because I'm happy to support their dreams and their goals. So if you're a DIYer, start local, start small, rent an Airbnb, have 5 people. I don't care. Just do it. Be in action. Start the dream, start the process, and you will learn as you go. And so there's absolutely nothing wrong with DIYing it at the beginning. And just and if you're going to DIY it, start simple, start local. And those would be my advice to you. And I'm always happy to answer questions for people if they want to
start with a day treat, one day, not even an overnighter.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, even a weekend, but start with a day retreat. Absolutely. So there's ways that you can dip your toe and gradually ease your way into this without jumping in the deep end. So I just want to say that. Now, let me get back to your question about how are my clients making money from their retreats. And I would say they're making their money in 2 different ways, fundamentally from their retreats. There may be some nuances out there, but I'm going to talk about the 2 ways I see people making money most easily and readily. The first is that they're adding profit into the cost of their retreat. So they're essentially charging a price for their retreat that is above what the base cost is. So the base cost per person may be here. They're adding a certain amount above that, and that is the cost of the retreat to their clients. And so they're taking away some amount of income from the retreat itself. Okay. Now there's a whole, I know from experience, that there's a lot of things that go into determining the venue and the location and other factors if you want to be able to then pad in profit on top of that and not have it be exorbitantly expensive. But that's one way. The other is that to your point, you've just had this cohort of people on the ground in this beautiful container, this sacred space that you've carved out for them, and people get very, very close. And there is a very, very tight sense of connection and community that forms during those events. And so it makes sense that at the end of that, they not only want to work more, they want to continue that experience with the facilitators, but they also, what's really important that people don't understand or appreciate, they still want to be part of that community. So they've just, they see, and now they see, when there is an invitation that happens during the retreat, and I think it's important to have an invitation during the retreat or immediately following, if they don't want to do it while they're on the ground, or immediately following. But once they see other people signing up, there's this kind of FOMO that happens, this fear of missing out. And they're like, oh, well, I just spent a whole week with Mary. I really like Mary. Wow, Mary's going to go into the group coaching program. well, maybe I should go into the group coaching program. Like there's this sort of, it happens very organically. It's really interesting to watch, but it's all about wanting to continue on in that connection and in that community of people, along with what they've experienced from the facilitators. So that's the beauty and the magic that happens in the retreat.
Yeah, I love that so much. Well, what would you say, just kind of wrapping things up here, would be the most important thing for a retreat leader to where to start? If even if you have a tribe of people and you're overwhelmed, so you're brand new, or you have a tribe but you're still brand new in doing retreats, what would be your best advice you could give?
The best advice I would say is to sit first with, maybe do some journaling, or if you have a coach or you have a confidant, but sit and tease out, what is your vision for the retreat? What are the business goals behind the retreat? Because those are often two different things. And start to just allow yourself to just get the vision and the goals and the dreams from in here out onto paper, or articulated out into the open. And then maybe talk with, the next step would be, if you want to explore Concierge or just get more ideas, to come and talk with us or other seasoned professionals to say, hey, thinking about doing XYZ. What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? Am I ready? Am I not ready? If I'm not ready, what do I need to be ready? That type of conversation, to really have a litmus test to, here's my dream and my vision and my goals. How do I get there? Am I there yet? Is there some intermediary steps that need to happen before I can get there? So just to kind of bring it to, tighten it in and bring it down to realities.
Yeah,
So,
no, I love it. Well, and I would say, from a selfish perspective, all things retreat. Start listening every week. Go ahead and
definitely.
subscribe and like our shows and help support us so we can get the word out. Tell your friends, tell your other business colleagues that are thinking about doing retreats, because there's no charge to show up and listen to a little bit of what we have to say. And I feel like we've got years and years of experience. And we've also, let's just put a little plug. We're going to be doing a summit. Um, you and I and our friend Linda, we're all going to put together a summit for you in March. So that'll be something as well that you'll want to come and join. And it'll be for a day. I think we decided, we're still
Yeah.
putting together the
I
details.
think it's
But
March or April, so it's going to be coming this spring. And I
yeah,
just want to say, if I had a dime for everybody, what prevents a lot of people from taking action is they say, I don't know what I don't know. Like, I'm scared that I'm overwhelmed by what I don't know, what I don't understand about the whole retreat space. So All Things Retreat is where you can get yourself educated about what it is that you need to know. So then it's not so scary, and you can take those steps forward that you want to take to hosting that first retreat, or that first overseas retreat, or whatever that looks like for where you are in your business.
yeah. Every time I learn something, I think how much more I really don't know. And I guess that comes with adulthood, because right when we're teenagers, we think we know everything. And then we become adults and we find out we just don't know much. So there's always, just be willing to be coachable and listen. And it's a great time. We just hit 2025 right now. And let's just set some goals, everybody. Let's sit down and think about the possibilities and what you can take that moonshot. Let's just think of something really big and just figure it out. And if you think you want to put a small retreat on, that's something you could do in less time if it's local. And if it's just, a day or it's a couple days, start there and just get your feet wet to see what it's going to be all about. So anything else you want to say before we close things up today?
No, I think we covered a lot. I just want to encourage people to keep coming back, because we're going to be delving deeper, and we're going to cover a lot of different topics. And Holly and I are both no holds barred kind of gals. So you're going to hear a lot of great information. We will tell you everything. There's nothing, we're going to not keep anything hidden behind the kimono.
Pull the curtain. Yeah, it's not always fun doing business. There's always challenges, and it's just how you look at them and how you want to move forward with things. So we're problem solvers, and we like to know that people know that there's people that can actually solve those problems for you. You don't have to be alone, and you don't have to do it alone. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Tamara, for being our first guest on the launch of the podcast, All Things Retreat. If you want to email us with any information, you can go to info@retreatr, the letter N, JourneyWorkR.com. It'll also be posted down below in the show notes. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it so that we can get the word out of all things retreat and that people can come on here and we can see more events. I would love to see more retreats being created by newbies and people that are seasoned, just doing more or deciding they're going to go from being national to international. Oh, what that look like, and pick those really elite locations. It'll be fun. So thank you. And we will see you next time on the podcast. Thanks, Tamara. To you. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time.